Welcome back, Aiden. Good to see you, buddy. Can you hear me okay? Tim Liz, welcome back. Took me a minute. Sorry, guys. Perfect. All right. We are back. Yes, sir. Y'all with volume control, I would advise you to cut it down for a second till you see me again. I'm about to run the miter saw. I don't want to mess your ears up. Here. Two more of these. All right. We've got a few things to work with here. With a few holes in them. Well, that one's got a bark inclusion in it. That ain't gonna work worth it down. But let's start with cutting out what we can cut out. This is more than enough wood for what I'm thinking. So now, well, let's set you guys over here so you can see the table saw and stuff. We'll get to work on cutting these down. Hold on. We're going riding. Fine, take a break, man. You've been at it all morning, I bet. Good to see you. Well, now good to see you. Ha! And through the seamless magic of television, we are now looking at the table saw. All right. What do we gotta do now? I think the optimal thickness for what we're cutting is going to be 3/8. So I'm going to get my calipers. I'm going to get my gauge blocks. And all of that will make sense in a minute, but let's start with 3/8. Three-eighths being, of course, 0.375. Bet you $1 that's right at 3/8. Now, when I set this up, for those of you that ain't done this, I'm going to set this edge to this side of my table saw tooth so that this gives me a true 3/8 run out from the point where it's going to be cut off. And we'll move right on in, lock her down. Oh, be better if I had to squirt it up first. The only bad side about making your own table saw fence is sometimes it gets a little squirrely. All right. And I'm not building a rocket. I don't need it to be super precise, but somewhat precise would be nice. Just above that. Get my good push stick, which I'll have to cut another one here in a bit. I'll cut the volume down just a little bit and run the saw. Of course, I dropped the damn thing. Let's see how them come out. Right, dead nuts at 3/8. Good. So, 2 of them will be wide enough for the stand on the phone, which is good. So I'll cut 2 more of the long ones, then start thinking about the base. Watch your ears again, folks. All right. So let's see what we got to cook with now. Got them long dogs like that. And the short boys. Christian Dust, good to see you. So my idea is these boys. As soon as I cut one big enough to actually mess me up. All right. Well, that's easy to fix. We're just going to lob off that hole. And our stand is going to be that tall. Because I don't care. That is the joy of what I do that may be different from everybody else. Because I reclaim and repurpose so much of what I do, I got to pivot. I got to make do with what I got. And this time, I'm going to cut that hole off. In a second, I'm going to run that saw. You got volume control, watch your ears, fellas. And ladies, sorry about that. And just like that, we got fresh clean strips. Cool. So the idea is set a couple of these angled like so. These two angled like so with a ledge. And then the cell phone will sit right there with a base under it. Put a little wallet out spot to put change or keys or something. And another one over here for a billfold. So this will be a little bit bigger. That's kind of the plan. What do y'all think? I think that'd be fun to make. I think so. It's also going to give us some pretty unique challenges. Because if these two are going to come together at a 30-degree angle like so, and that means we've got to join these with a 15-degree bevel and do it in such a way that they're going to remain strong. And I'm thinking we put box joints in here might be the best plan. But I also want to make this accommodating to people that don't know much about their skill level and feel like they don't know if they can make a box joint, dude. So what's the next best thing? I suppose the next best thing would be cut it into strips and then laminate them back and forth like so. You know, where you kind of get this number going on. Then I'd lose even more. Well, we can start with cleaning and going and getting these all put together. And devising, if they're going to set their cell phone on, they're going to need a way. Hey, Woodchucker, good to see you. They're going to need a way to be able to charge it. That might be a winner just like that. All right, first things first. Let's take these over to the sander and clean them up some. I don't know if I can get you where you can see me, but time to see more of my mess. Maybe I can explain this little setup. I had to make this other island behind me because I've got so much storage all around the walls that I didn't have places to put things like my joiner or find a spot for my bandsaw or my big sander. So I set them, I divided the shop into thirds, the workbench being on this side, and I've got this little island over here where I can work on these tools exclusively. I got my 12-inch tilt head Craftsman 113 bandsaw over here, covered with round. Here I've got my Craftsman 103 4-inch jointer. That might be 6-inch. My fault. The first one I had was a 101. It was a 4-inch. Then I've got my Montgomery Ward 6-inch belt and 10-inch disc sander here. And then nestled in amongst them, I don't know if you can see it, right here, I got one of those jaw horses, like Baron the Boss Lady uses. That's for when I need a heavy duty device. I'll go over there and just step on that color today. Anyway, let's get these cleaned up. Then we'll start figuring out, brainstorming how to assemble all this. All right. I am having an awesome day. Good to see you, Moat. So, a couple of questions I get sometimes. I'm over there on the belt sander. Why am I doing this number while I'm sanding? At the end of the day, I've got a really aggressive paper on there. It's only about 120. So the more I do this, then the less I leave it in one place and give it the potential to give me gouges run down by a hot spot on the sand. So if you swim it back and forth, it'll give you a lot more uniform finish. That doesn't really chew you up, man. That at least gets us to dimension. We can do a final sand on this later. I don't know why in the world that one come out a whole lot thicker than the other one, but Maybe there was a swing in my table saw blade. I can't be sure. But them two came out fine. That's a good joint. I'm going to joint this. Get some clamps on it. For those of you just joining, I'm going to make a thingy. The thingy is it's a little caddy that you set on the bedside table with an arm that comes up at an angle and comes back down. You can put your cell phone and rest it on it. A little tray underneath. We can put your keys, put your billfold, that kind of stuff. If you hadn't had a good idea for a Father's Day present, this might tickle you a little bit. Who knows? And yes, I am just kind of making it up as I go. It's actually one of the challenges that I love about being somebody that works with reclaimed stuff. Because I have projects that I intend or need to do. But then at the same time, from one day to the next, I really don't know what materials I'm going to have to work with or what the size of those materials are. So I can't really necessarily put together plans. And it forces me to critically think about what's right in front of me. And I love that challenge. It forces me to engage and problem solve in real time. Not to knock anybody that does this. Hell, it's pretty easy to run down to the Home Depot with an exact cut list and get exactly the wood I need and get it all to assemble together. And that's wonderful. It's a little boring. For me, in my humble opinion. This adds a level of challenge to it. All right. So we got that glued up. That looks like it's going to come together well. I don't like how that end came. Let me get another clamp on that. I'm going to try to really jam that thing together because I don't want that seam. Qué bueno, bastante bueno. Perfect. Now, in lieu of what I had on this side, I'm going to replace it with this F clamp because that seems to give me a better bite. Better registration of that glue, which in turn is going to work out a lot better, I think. Very nice. All right, we'll set that off the side. Now we'll rectify this crap. Why the hell did that one come out so much thicker than this one? Can y'all see that? It's like ridiculous how much thicker that one came out. You know what? I think I'm just going to cut another one real quick. I'll just do that. Loud noise trigger alert. Turn your volume down. See if that one came Damn sure did. At least that one was just an oddball. Came out skinny, I don't know why. Have the 500 on TV, seems like. Oh, they are racing today, ain't they? Rub these edges off, get the finish so I can glue it. Yes, we are, Norm. Good to see you again. Trip over all the crap in the floor. This glued up. As if it isn't painfully obvious. When I have standards I have to uphold for somebody else, I will certainly keep things tidy. I was in the Army for 8 years. I can do that. But when left to my own devices, I promise you, it'll look like Sanford & Son by the time I'm over it. I think it might have something to do with object permanence and remembering the last place I touched something and then I left it in a designated spot, and if they move it, it mess me up. You know, that kind of thing. Plywood, welcome back, buddy. Good to see you. All right. I'm going to crank on that sucker. We're going to let those two dry. Go revisit the plan so everybody knows what the hell we're up to. Well, hell, I can draw the plan right here. All right. Well, the best piece of paper you could ever have. The plan is to have a base, something like so. And then protruding from the top, there's an angular piece. Did I do that right? No, I didn't. There we go. About like that. So you can put a cell phone up here. And we'll have a couple of caddies down here for change and keys and whatever. And we set this on the nightstand. Because that picture totally made sense to anybody except me. I know how to do it better. Here's the side view of it. Does that make more sense now? All right, so we've got these finished. Well, to that stage. Put that to the side. Start thinking about the base. Now the base we definitely want heavier. Probably a little wider. Now I determined, let's do it from the front view, like so. figure do the front like so. I had this 3.5. So I think that will go to 5. Right. Right here, this will actually be thicker. And then there'll be some cubbies here for keys. One here for my billfold. At least that's the plan. So let's look at the material we're working with. Start figuring things out. That's 1 3/4, which is why 2 of them came together at 3.5 perfectly like it was supposed to. So to get 5, 3.5 plus 1 3/4, that'd be 4.5, 5 1/4. No, I just do 5 1/4. Make it easy on myself. What do you think? So now I need 3. Well, then I could take advantage of that too, because I've got this irregular shape where they cut this profile dado in here to accept some walnut paneling. And that dimension is 1 3/4. But inside there is 1.5. Well, 1 3/8. I don't know. Point is, I think for this to work better, we need these other longer pieces to be thicker. Probably say 3/4 of an inch. I hear you, old Path, but my issue is that I've got a very limited amount of stock. I'm working with basically one board. And that board is only this profile 1 3/4 square by maybe about 6 foot long. So that's all I've got to work with. But I'm gonna make it happen. So we're gonna set the saw. Hold on tight. Back looking at the table saw. Move the gauge block calipers for now. Hi, Heather. Good to see you. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Plywood over there, just like, go buy some lumber. Well, hell, that's nice. That's cool. Let's throw some money at the problem. That doesn't teach me nothing. Except how to spend money. I'd much rather figure out how to do it with what I got. Because heaven forbid something happens in this world, then all I have to figure anything out with is what I got. I guess that's a little fundamental part of my channel, is figuring out how to make those things work, how to make do, how to persevere with what we got. So this time I'm going to set this to 3/4. Again, for the individuals with noise sensitivity, please turn your volume down. I'm going to kick the saw and we'll be cutting. you for your patience. Now we've got us a rip at 3/4. I bet we can get another one out of this one. What we got right here? Nah, that's closer to half. That's okay. Where did I get this stock from? It was from a desk at an office with a divider, like a cubicle divider. And they had these with walnut veneered paneling, which you see over here. See it behind the broom over there? They had sheets of that. Hold on. I ended up and bumped the camera. My fault. Hold on. Let me change it up. Let's see if I got it figured out now. Can y'all see me again? Sorry about that. Anyway, so they had those sheets of walnut veneer MDF with these holding it all together as kind of a partition for the cubicles. It was in a bank, which of course they're going to spend all the money on walnut crap. So when they chucked them, I pulled up the truck and unchucked them. Then there was a couple other pieces that I got from a dining room table that somebody threw out. Okay. Back to the issue at hand. I'll set this to the side for now. And the more I think about it, they had these little profiles screwed to all of those walnut veneered MDF sheets where it was kind of like a book trench or a place where you could put some papers. They use some of these profiles on it too. Tim, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Listen, I think there was such a stupid stigma that people put on the terms that they use, like dumpster diving and, you know, whatever. It's something that I talked about when I discussed the fundamental reasons why I built this channel to begin with. I was lucky and blessed to have spent the first 11, 12 years of my life with my great-granddaddy. And that man was born January 15th, 1889. The man lived through everything, okay? When he was born, the state he was born in wasn't even a state yet. It was Mexico. And you didn't go down to Home Depot to get something. You had to dodge Comanches to go get what you needed. He taught me so many things through those years. And not just about the times way back then, but consider he lived through the Depression. He lived through the Dust Bowl. He lived through all of these things, and he watched everyone around him, and he helped so that everybody pulled through and they made it. And they made do with what they had. And I guess a big part of that is me trying to keep that alive for him. I guess you could say kind of honoring him. I don't know. But back to what we're doing now. Now these have got a 45-degree chamfer on each side, but I want to keep that thickness. I don't want to lose that. So if I ran them this way, and I only took one side off, well, let me think about this. What I'm worried about to show you on the drawing here, what I'm worried about is that when I put this together, I'm going to end up with this guy. And how do I get past that? Now, I could cut all of that off, and that would circumvent the problem, but then I'd lose overall width. I could invert it and stick that on the bottom. And that would give me 3 flush surfaces to do my trays in, and then find a way to put some feet on the bottom. But then you'd be able to see this profile on the end, which I could cover with this. Ah, dog, looky there. We better be careful. It's starting to look like I know what I'm doing. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And I think you guys help me make a decision about that dimension. I think it should protrude out a little further in front of it. I don't know. Tell me a number. Let's figure it out and design it together. What do you think? What say you, chat? 6 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches, 12 feet? My brain is really wanting to say 7 inches, 8 inches, somewhere around there. I could harken back to that. What is it, the Fibonacci scale? The magic ratio? Start doing a bunch of math. I don't think we got time for all that. I think I'm going to call that 8. What did I run these at? 8. Pine says, I think it'd look cool if it then lined it up at the top. So you think, make these the same. Let's have an idea. So then how do we accomplish that in a way that makes it simple on us and anybody who's going to follow what I'm doing? We want to make the math easy. So I cut this one. And I cut this one already. Those are what I glued up over there. Then we'll cut these small jobs, which again could be this piece. And then cut this last one and let it run as long as we need it to. Then run a square and just nip that off. I don't know, guys. What do you think? You think I'd look better flush like that? Or sticking out a little further out front? While you do that, I think I'm going to go with that plan. I'm just going to let this all run long. Cut it, I don't know, 16 inches. And then I got plenty to jab it back to whatever I think. Get rid of that screw. Burn an inch. Give me 16. John, I'm making a little caddy for Daddy to put his billfold and his keys and his phone on the desk or on the bedside table or something. Well, maybe I don't want to do 16 because when I look at this, the distance between them two screw holes is 31. Call it 30. So if I do 15, then that means I can get 2 of them before I hit the next screw hole. I'm going to do that. Rickard, good to see you, bud. Y'all sit tight. Let me see if I can do this without kicking the camera off. Stop looking at my floor. For those of you with volume control, watch your ears. Of course, I could have set that up with a stop block and all that other mess. But it was only 2-3 pieces. I don't really care. Mr. Ricker, good to see you. All right. So now we'll sand all these down. Get ready to joint them together. Let's go over the sander. I'll be right back. I'm doing all right, Rickard. Good evening. How about you? Sanded one side, so that one's good. That one's sanded. This one's sanded on both sides. One of them's sanded on both sides. That's the one. And just to get rid of any deviation in thickness that I might have here, what I might do is set these up on some clamps that'll stand upright. Like these two guys. And then what that'll do is that gives me a flat surface for them to register against, which means no matter what deviation in thickness I got, I'll come out flush on the face side. So that'll be like so. Get those wiggled in place. Run one more bead, just like so. Clean the unfinished side. Now, what I'm doing is I'm pressing those down flush against the clamp so that when it's all said and done, the clamp is acting as its own caul. To give me a more flush surface. Yep, there it is. They are not, John. These are straight from the Hazard fraught. Gonna have a woodcraft store, huh? Not too bad. Not too bad. I don't know if I'd ever go there myself, but that's because I'm a weird animal. I'm the guy who'll spend 2 months building his own lathe before he'll dump $400 on buying it from somebody else. But that's because I'm not necessarily so much into the projects as much as I'm into the lessons that I can learn building. Like when I started the lathe, I suddenly found myself having to give myself a crash course on permanent magnet DC motors, what I could do without them, how speed control worked, if I could reverse them, could I control their rotation, and all of that stuff I picked up along the way. And I thought that is the greatest daggum lesson that I could get out of it, and that's worth more to me than the lathe ever would be. And now I'm literally waiting for glue to dry. Right down the road from you, Alpine. Oh. Yes, I'm drinking water, and sugary sodas, everything I can get a hold of. I'm going to look at the thermometer real quick, see what it says right now. Feels like it cooled off a little bit. Yes, it did. We're down to only about 106. It was 119 earlier. So the shop has cooled down significantly, letting the breeze blow some of that hot, stuffy air out of here a bit. Whew. But for those safety trolls that have decided they're going to join into my stream, yes, I'm wearing shorts. Yes, I'm wearing slides. You don't like it, go watch someone else. It's hotter than hell out here. And even if you want to go on the safety troll aspect, I'm more importantly worried about heat stroke and heat casualty problems than I'm ever going to be worried about smashing my toe with a piece of wood this big. on me, Rusty. Damn it, I'll tell him for you. I don't care. Call Ocean. Somebody give Rusty the damn Ocean number. Never mind, he's probably got it on speed dial. Okay. So our original concept was we're going to have this guy coming up off the back of it, this guy coming down with a lip, something like so that Daddy can put his cell phone right here like this, which brings up some more problems we need to consider. If he's going to do this, he's doing it at night. He's going to go to bed. So how the hell is he going to charge it? Because the charging port's down there. That means we're going to have to incorporate a hole somewhere here in the ledge when we get done building it so the charger can go through. And I think probably the slickest way to make this look pretty elegant is to have the charger come out of here, double back up this way, put another hole right here so that the hole comes out, or so that the cord comes out the back, and then it's tucked up and out of the way for when he goes down here to get his change, get his billfold and stuff. What do you think? Right? You're right, John. And I got a mask, but I don't know if y'all want to listen to Bane teach you how to do a Father's Day gift. While all that glue is curing, shift gears, go back over to the lathe. Just a minute. All right, here's what we got so far. Prototyped out. It is not even near pretty, but it is doing the job, which is testing the proof of concept at this point. I'll zoom y'all in just a second and bring you down so you can see. Uh-oh, Moyout's laughing at me. Check it out. Behold the freaking lathe thus far. And again, I think this is a great example of learning and teaching yourself principles along the way in order to make things make sense. So what I've got, this is 130 volt DC permanent magnet motor, 2.5 horsepower. It says that it's a clockwise rotation, but if you know anything about DC motors, you can wire it backwards and have it spin the other direction. It doesn't matter. Then we have, this came out of a treadmill, by the way. Then I got the heat sink and the MC60 speed controller out of the head of the treadmill, the fuse, and a kill switch that I just have rudimentarily wired together for the moment. But then we also have a slide potentiometer. This component here was the reason they were getting rid of the treadmill. This slide potentiometer, the little tab where you can move the slider, broke. So they thought that rendered the entire treadmill useless. So see what happens. It's working. Let's move the slider. got all the speed we need. And at 2¼ horsepower, I think that that's good enough. Fine, I had to get my stuff together this morning. Got to head out for some small amount. Couldn't take it any longer. Rusty gonna go get him some fish. Meantime, I also put together a rudimentary little tool rest to use for a moment. And I pressed this on, glued it in, and then shaped it. So that might give me the ability to do a little bit of a plates and bowls, stuff like that. I don't know. I got to fart with it a little more in order to be sure. But what I might do is try to fashion a face plate that I could screw into the wooden portion here. And that'll give me work holding this way. Which would give me roughly, oh, not much for throw. Four-inch, call it 3. Have I turned anything on it yet? Well, other than this, not really. Jamie, how you doing? But I bet you guys probably want to see some sawdust coming off of this, maybe some chips. I don't have any turning tools yet because I haven't made them. But I do got a chisel. And I bet that's enough to prove the concept, show it works. And again, all of this is just rough prototyping. I ain't doing nothing crazy. So let's get this spun up. So at the very least, we got a proof of concept. It'll work. Gives me another way to do some face cutting if I want to. Black & Shack taught me into getting a laser. Oh, God. You know you're in a hell of a pickle if you let Black & Shack talk you into doing anything. Yeah, I just gave him hell. He's a good guy. If I'm being honest, Mike is kind of one of my people. We just ain't known each other long enough to be friends like that yet. John, that's what I got to figure out just yet. How am I going to keep the wood attached? Let me see if I can move things around so y'all can see a little better. Maybe y'all got some ideas. That helps you see any better. right, so the idea here is that I measured this with a mic and I pressed it on and got it glued in with some 5-minute epoxy. So this layered piece of plywood is here, okay? My idea is maybe I can drill a series of holes here in a pattern that might allow me to attach a faceplate right here. And then once I've got a faceplate, I can turn the faceplate to be concentric with this. And then that faceplate I can mount to the back and maybe use it to do bowls or platters or something like that. And then after that, I got to work out a tailstock so that I could put a pair of centers. I may try to figure out how to put a spur gear here somehow, or if anything, put a couple more screws in here that I can sharpen to use as spurs for a drive. And then have a dead center out here that I can at least turn spindles and table legs, stuff like that on. What do y'all think? Once I figured out how to get the concept working, I should be all right. Yeah, them lasers will make you some money. That is no damn joke. I think I'm gonna find me a couple of short screws here. See if I can start devising a way to turn this into a faceplate, because that looks like it's right on target. So step one, get a drill, put a couple holes. Rickard, let's do it, buddy. I'll give you a rundown on how they go. I got another one down here just laying in the floor waiting to be turned into another tool. This is what you call a universal motor. It will run on AC or DC. They just come out of a dishwasher. There's my little impeller. But honestly, actually, it may be AC because that looks like a start capacitor. The big things about them is, number one, don't be afraid of them. You know, there's nothing that. What's the worst thing I do? I take this dishwasher motor that I pulled out of an old dishwasher that was going to get thrown away. I end up hooking it up to some power and I blow it the hell up. Well, then I've still got a dishwasher that was going to get thrown away. I didn't do a damn thing. All I did was learn something. On that note, if somebody will type this into the chat, there's a guy I recommend named Jeremy Fielding. Jeremy Fielding started out much like I am right now. And that man, if you go look at his channel now, homemade with garbage in his house, in his garage, he built a full Cartesian 5-axis robot arm that he's programmed to do automated tasks. It's like the one Iron Man's got. I mean, it does everything. And he has it most of the time running a plasma cutter to cut out parts for him. That man will teach you more about motors and how they work than anybody on YouTube, in my humble opinion. Anyway, I digress. Let's figure out a faceplate for this guy. Yeah. Mooney! What's up, brother? We're figuring out how to build a lathe. And the best part is I ain't got a damn clue how to do it just yet, but I'm figuring it out. Yep, that's him, Pine. You want an inspirational story. That fellow was building crap out of people's garbage in his, he had a tough shed in the backyard. And he got so damn good at teaching himself how to do it that I am not kidding you when I say this. He now is a contributing writer and editor to college engineering books, teaching them how to do it. That man has taught himself damn near everything. And it is unreal, the level of information he soaked in. Your trunk lid sounds like crap. You need to insulate it. For those of you who do big bass and car stereos, insulate your trunk lid. You're not impressing anybody with. All right, so I got my micrometer set, or my caliper set. Center line on them holes. Let's find center on this guy. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing this. All I'm doing is killing time, honestly, while I wait for the glue to dry on the Father's Day present, which we'll circle back to in a little bit. Okay, so I am at 1.622 divided by 2 would be 0.811. All right. So we'll lock that down. Again, y'all, if you don't have a set of calipers, even if you're not a machinist, I promise you, if you get a set of calipers, you are not going to cuss me one time for having them. I promise you will not be upset one bit. Okay, so I need to set this to 0.811. Like so. And with any luck, I'm going to end up with a circle the same diameter as the 2 holes that I've got right here. Oh yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's put this caliper away before I mess it up. Exactly, boy. The damn rims and the stereo cost 10 times as much as the damn car did. And when I was a kid, I was into that kind of stuff. But then I realized the only thing it accomplishes is making you a walking advertisement that somebody needs to break into your shit. All right, so I'm going to go center on center. I'm going to run a couple of holes. We'll see how easy. How accurate I was in translating that measurement so that I could turn this sucker into a faceplate. The next thing is I'm going to use this as a redneck reamer, run it all the way down, and then just spin it free because the threads are going to cut out all that. All right. I don't think them screws I got are quite long enough. But they accomplished the task. We got it reamed out. Find a couple a little bit longer. And yes, go ahead and come at me. Drywall screws. Go ahead. Oh, man. Thought you was a woodworker. You using a damn drywall screw. Freaking hack. You know what? You can call me a hack. That's fine. You know who does like the things I build? Your mom. She loves them. She calls me her Bob Vila. Wish me luck, fellas. Hi, Heather. Welcome back. All right. Well, I ain't stupid. I ain't going to spin this up just yet. But what I am going to do, I may spin it up super slow. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use this to guide my pencil and give me a nice circle to cut to. That looks about right. What do you think? So now I got a good circle. Back this off. I'll run over the bandsaw. Cut that circle out. Then I can finish it off and make it nice and concentric on our potential new lathe here. I think that's close enough for government work. John, thank you for stopping by, friend. What do y'all think? I think that's on there. I might have a faceplate. Get a smaller chisel. Because again, I don't have any cutting tools just yet. I'll have to make them. For the time being, I got this little bitty 1/4-inch chisel. I might be able to pull something off with this. Move my homemade tool rest here. All right. This is either going to be awesome or y'all are going to laugh like hell at me. I don't know which one just yet. Engage your safety squints, gentlemen. I know I should probably be going a lot faster, but I want to try to get some of the off kilter taken out of it before I really start running it up. I bet you probably want to see what I'm doing a hell of a lot better, don't you? Or can y'all see okay? Tell me what you need me to do. Yeah, I got a little bit. Hey. Now we're getting somewhere. Hey. little more run out gone. So kick speed up a little bit. All right, y'all give me help. What am I doing wrong? I got a couple of dowel holes in here. I got to take that down further. I know we got wood turners in here. Talk to me. What am I doing? Am I screwing something up? Am I doing it right? Doing it wrong? Hanging up, Mike. You're going to kill yourself? I mean, what's the verdict, fellas? Believe me, Ricker, I'm outside my area of expertise. Hell, I ain't got a damn clue what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. That's what the channel's all about. We're going to make stuff and we're going to figure it out as we go. I think the idea, I got rid of a good deal of the wobble. So now I can come back in here, reposition for edge turning here, try to take out some of this. Get rid of these two little dowel things. I think this was part of a dresser at some point. That's why they're in there. Take it down past that diameter. And then I'll have this. I don't know a damn thing about how any of this works, but I think the idea is that I can then take this off, attach it to the bottom of a piece of wood and turn it into a bowl or whatever and screw it onto this and have a face plate to turn with. C&G, don't ever say anything you did was a failure, brother. Listen, Edison got asked why it took so many times for him to figure out a light bulb. He said it didn't take a lot. I didn't fail that many times. I learned that many ways not to do it. And learning every one of those ways got him to the way to do it. Hell, I'll do that all day long if it lets me get smarter. All right. Sorry, Mrs. Macon was messaging me. Let's see what y'all saying over here. I don't have the first clue about turning. I am. But I guess that's what today's about. Just you only don't know something until the minute you do. And ain't a damn thing stopping any of us except us. Hell, I barely understood how a lathe worked before I started building this, and now the damn thing's over here. I'm making probably not the best freaking chips in the world, but I'm making chips. And I'm turning a face plate. So that's got to count for something. I am making progress. I am increasing my knowledge. I'll take it, C&G. Anything I'm doing I shouldn't be doing? My basic understanding of things tells me that I want my tool rest to be as close to the work as possible, because that eliminates all potential for me to get a harmonic resonance in this and start bouncing this thing. So the closer these two are together, then the more stable this chisel will be, which means the steadier the cut will be, which means the smoother it will perform. The more cattywampus this is, the less we want to turn it fast, but as it comes into concentricity, then we can kick the speed up, which will make this cut a little better. Let's take another run at it, see what happens. Worst case, I blow the damn thing up. Oh, we're humming now. So I'm going to try to communicate what I'm thinking as I'm doing this. I've learned that the angle of the tool in relation to the center here is pivotal. The more I go up this way, above it, where this is striking a line above the center, the more aggressive it is. And the more passive it becomes, and I start creating, I guess, like a rake angle when I come down below it. So we've learned that so far. Also, the prototype, this motor is not nearly as secure as I need it to be for version 2. And I'm getting really, really aggressive with my chisel because I'm getting excited. This thing is really doing something. So I need to back off and be a little bit more gingerly with what I'm doing. Maybe move to a smaller chisel for now until I achieve concentricity and I get rid of those dowel holes that I saw. And back it up so that I can account for the fact that this isn't as securely fastened as it should be in the final version. I also see that depending on the angle, sometimes this thing starts getting hot. And I don't think that's good. That's giving me an indicator that I'm not making cuts. I'm generating friction, so I'm rubbing it. So I think I want to stay as aggressive as I can in order to prevent the heat from building up and not cause that annealing from overheating the tool. Then again, maybe that I need to have something that's a bit sharper than what I'm using. Okay. That was good. That was good. A lot of the wobble is gone now because I'm starting to tear away. This is turning this way. So the work is coming down and my tool is going up in it, opposing forces. So from this side, it's turning counterclockwise. Well, does this qualify me as a wood turner yet? All right, we got one of those dowels gone. I got one more right here. And I think I already see a flaw with my design. So if this is going to be a base plate that I attach pieces to, and I screw in this way to attach the piece, well, how the hell am I going to screw this into this? What do you think? At the very least, have we accomplished proof of concept? Am I on the right path here? I am now a wood turner, says Rickard. Well, if John says it, well, then damn it, it's true. I bet farting around with this has given my glue more than enough time to dry for the Father's Day present. So now we'll move this out of the way. We'll go back to the Father's Day project. Thank you for indulging my dumbassery for a minute. I don't imagine that I'm the first one to ever try that. Let's clean up a little. Refresh everybody's memory on what we were doing with the other project. I had some old partition trim from a bank, for those of you that didn't know from before, that happened to be made of walnut. That I'm chopping up to create this here Father's Day present. This is a side view of it. The idea is that there's a base down here where you put your wallet, put your keys, and then this thing will hold your cell phone. You set that on the nightstand or something. So far, we chopped all this down. This is the profile of that trim board that we had. Again, it's walnut. I think this is lighter than the other one. I think it's from a different tree. But we got our first two pieces. And the idea of them pieces is they're going to go something like so. I don't know if you can see that work down. Okay, that's better. Then we'll have a lip right here. And Daddy's cell phone will go right here. Then we'll put a little slot down here at the bottom to put the billfold and the keys and all that. That be the plan. Small Woodlot, good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. I think all of our glue has glued. It's gluing. Safety trolls. Yes, I'm wearing shorts and I'm wearing flip-flops. The temperature has gone down a bit. It is down to 104. I just looked. This morning, I guess the sun was just hitting the shop just right. It was 119. But since then, I checked it a couple hours ago. It went down to 107, 106. Now it looks like it's about 104. And again, to speak directly to any safety trolls who come over here and look at my live stream, you don't like that I'm wearing shorts and flip-flops, well, then you can watch somebody else's live stream. I don't care. From a safety perspective, I am much more concerned with heat casualties and heat stroke than I am with getting my Tootsie smashed by this little piece of wood. So take your commentary, go somewhere with it. I ain't got time for you today. It's too damn hot to mess with you. So this will be like so. Zoom you out a little bit. There we go. So this will be like so. And this will be here. And then a little lip on the bottom like so. Yes, no, maybe so. What do you think? I think this is still my major hurdle. I need to figure out how to get those attached at a 30-degree angle in a way that's going to be worth the damn thing, going to snap first time you fart at it. Makes this too damn hot not to be out here in chunk clothes. Serious. I got to change the batteries. Hold on. There we go. I'm making a caddy for Daddy to put his keys and his cell phone and his pocket change on. I don't know what happened there, but anyway. 2 seconds. Hey, there we go. Remind me to buy another set of 18650s. Max, what do you think? Did you see the lathe? Hell, I was turning a faceplate and everything. Ricker, you need me to change it? I don't give a damn. We'll figure out something else to do. I think I am. I just set up that lathe. I got it fired up. It was turning. I started turning a faceplate on it. Johnny's Lathe Craft. All right, if you're sure, Rickard, I don't care. I don't give a damn. I'll get rid of it if that's what you need to do. So I'm going to cock this over at 15 degrees. Cock that one down at 15 degrees. And then we'll figure out how to route out some trays in here. See how it goes. And then I'm going to try another trick with this. This is Romex wire. I'm trying to put some copper inlays in it. So let's think how I want to put this together. And I hope you guys appreciate you being patient with me. Most of the things I build, my channel is all about repurposing, salvage, and making things with what I have available on hand. So I can't particularly jump into something with a plan. Know what I mean? I got to jump in and just kind of wing it as I go. And I love the challenge that gives me. It makes sure that I continue to practice my critical decision making, and I'm able to build things on the fly without the restriction of, oh, I have to go to the store and buy this, that, and the other. Moving ever closer to the self-sufficiency of looking at people confidently and saying, in most cases, I can build pretty much anything with damn near anything. Gonna try a jewelry stand. Yes! I love that, Ricker. Yes. Put them notches in there and hang the, oh yeah, man, that's just gonna look nice with that rosewood. Now, I tell you this much, if I had that rosewood and you had a feather up your ass, we'd both be tickled. Okay. Something almost makes me want to finger joint these, but run them long so that they do this number. Then get them cocked over to 30 degrees like they're supposed to be and sand everything off flush. Part of me wants to do that. I broke down a pallet yesterday to make a table for my bandsaw because the rest of my shop is outfitted with pallet wood and scrap wood. I love it. Look, my shop is a damn mess, and I'm going to do my best not to jerk around this camera, but I'll show you the hell typhoon that I got going on in here, just so you feel a little better, Ricker. So let's start with my miter saw station. That whole thing is put together out of a special kind of pallet that a local coffee company gets. It has the stringers and the runners, and then each side is covered with this really cheap 1/2-inch plywood that you see. I repurposed some old cabinet door hinges. All of this trim is actually this laminate floor, where the maintenance guys were redoing somebody's kitchen floor, and I grabbed all the scraps, which is good because it's slick, it's durable, it's made to be somebody's kitchen floor. So I built all of this out of the pallet wood I had. Did these two, covered those with laminate floor, built the new fence because I got this miter saw for $5 because it didn't have this fence. They had broke it. So I brought it home and I cobbled one together out of pallet wood and laminate floor. And then I set me a couple of fence stops, each direction that run flush. If I need a stop, I'll put a clamp right here that gives me my stops. Repeatable cuts, good to go. This thing does everything I need it to do. And all in all, I've got about, $5 in the saw. And I got nothing but time in the miter saw station. For those of you who trip out on having decent shop cabinets, yes, that is a dresser. Good enough for me. And I keep my bits up here. My chemistry and science set here. So I've got beakers, graduated cylinders, liquid weighers, pH meters, scales, all stuff I need to do chemistry. This one has got my microscope and my test slides. Also, I keep in here my brad nails, my extra circular saw blades and surplus power drills. There is no reason why this can't be a halfway decent tool chest if I needed to. So, if you need if you see an old dresser, then use it. That is an old computer desk with a shelf I put together out of MDF on the top of it, where it holds all my hardware, bit, nuts, bolts, screws. Then over here, hold on a minute, I don't want to jockey this too bad. I got another entertainment center over there made out of oak. I got 2 3D printers on it, all my woodworking books. An extra 3D printer up top that I got to get fixed. For those of you who lease or rent your house, I needed a storage solution that absolutely wouldn't have me fastening anything to the walls, because then I'd break the lease and I'd lose my deposit and shit. So I took some studs and I built a second wall on top of the garage wall. And then I layered it with hardwood floor. Built myself a premonition out here so I keep my hand tools. I got all my screwdrivers, nut drivers, chisels, cold chisels, files, all of that stuff here. My catch-all beams, which you see catches damn near everything. My drill press. This is a Walker Turner. It was made in 1927. Still works great. Still does everything I needed to do. I got this for next to nothing because it didn't have a motor. And I ended up putting a motor from a swamp cooler on it. And it's been running fine ever since. Drill bit storage, my Forstner bits are over here, my plug cutters, my countersinks, my step bits. Hand tools, screwdrivers, my coping saw, my jeweler's saw is over here, my draw knife. My adzes, my metal clamps. And then I found an old school desk from the 1960s made of oak. I put a thick piece of tempered glass on top of that so that if I need to, I can clean all of this off. And I can use this for my electronics, for my soldering, for repairing electrical, doing all that kind of stuff. This is all random shit. Most of these totes are things from mama in the house. I mean, we all got that part in the house or in the shop somewhere. Then we'll move this way. I keep my wood storage over here in the corner. All the sheet goods that I salvaged up, scrapped up. Here's some of those plywood pieces I was talking about from those pallets. This is the lathe. Next, I'll get it figured out eventually. But pallet slats over there. Got some more in the corner. Table legs, all kinds of random shit that I took off of basically furniture that people threw away. I took it away, broke it down, and put it into my materials cabinet so that I've got things that I can choose from. That was a set of lockers from a nursing home that they were getting rid of because the nursing home closed down. So I grabbed all that. It's all full of random shit, this and that. My door hinges, all of that, they're in there. Moving on. I got my machinist chest. That's where I keep all my chisels, my measuring tools, my calipers, my micrometers, my dividers, compasses, all the precision measuring tools. They're all in that machinist cabinet right here. Down below that, I keep all my sandpaper. That is the two sides of, there used to be this kind of furniture that they sold called a vanity. And it was two little end tables with a thing in the middle and a mirror on the back. And Mama would go sit down and do her makeup there. So I cut out the center part and I got rid of the mirror and the little desk part. And I just brought now them two together. That's where all my sandpaper and all my sanding stuff is. So I've got 8 drawers there to divide it all up and keep my different grits or whatever. Moving this way. No, that is not a comedy license plate. That literally was the license plate on my Silverado. What are the odds? My license plate number was DVD 6969. I digress. A wooden set of file cabinets. And of course a metal set sitting next to them. Those hold random bits, bobs, this and that. Surplus hand tools and power tools. If we focus down a little bit, we have my tool island. This is my 6-inch joiner, my 6-inch belt sander, and 12-inch disc sander, or 10-inch disc sander, my jaw horse, and my bandsaw all live right here nested together. Then as we come out back, we got the junk pile. My scroll saw lives right here. Of course, my workbench, which is literally made out of pallets. And that's pretty much the shop. Bet you guys didn't expect to get a shop tour, did you? I have 7 million things, and I've said it once, if I've said it a million times. My biggest problem is that I've got 10 pounds of shit stuffed in a 5-pound bag. And it has most assuredly forced me to get real creative with how things go together. Because at the end of the day, it's just a 2-car garage. I got a hell of a lot of things going on, and it's not just woodworking. I mean, now I got to figure out where I'm going to set that lathe up, which eventually I'll get worked out. I think I might actually devise some way to store it inside the workbench, like so, and then it flips up when I'm going to use it, and then flip it back down into the workbench when I'm not. Help me with the creativity you have. Absolutely. Ricker is something else, man. Ricker is smart. He's got his shit together. Half the time I'm trying, but I'm winging it. All right. Back to the problem that I really didn't want to mess with, but I got to figure it out. Putting these together at 30 degrees. Part of me thinks that idea is the smart thing to do. Oh, thanks, Max. Well, don't discount Ricker either. I mean, he's smart as hell. Not to call you out, Ricker, but listen, being broke does that. You get real damn good at being able to figure out some creative ass ways to get things done. Ricker's not too far from you. He's a lot closer to you than he is to me. I think he's in Kentucky or Tennessee. He's just around the corner. And Ricker Mex is up in Ohio. All right. So let's stop procrastinating and get this shit done. I think I need to get these to a uniform thickness. Get this down to a uniform thickness. I got a thickness planer down there, but damn it, I don't want to dig it out. I didn't tell you guys that. I got a Bauer 13-inch thickness planer. I got it tucked underneath the workbench because I hardly ever pull it out. Damn, I don't want to yank that damn thing out. Screw it. I'm going to sand it smooth. And then I'll get to working on finger joints. So I will be back here at the sander. Nope, change your plans. That's taking too damn long. Disclaimer, I'm about to build some things, and I'm going to do it in unconventional ways. I am an absolutely certified professional dumbass. Do not do what I do. Do not recreate what I'm about to do, because I'm about to do some sketchy shit. Do-da, do-da. Hope I get away with it. Oh, do-da-day. I'm going to find me a push block. Where the hell did I set my push block at? It should have been at the table saw, because that's where you use the damn push block, Mike. Where did it go? Did I knock it off from the floor? God, don't say that. Big things go on the floor, it disappears forever. It's all right. We're going to do it a different way. We're going to make a push block. Looks good for my house. All right. Don't try this at home, folks. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right. I tore that one out. I guess that's the inside now. One last sand. And that sucker did blow out, didn't you? Listen to your daddy. Give it back to the dog. All right. Okay. So now we got to get a 15 degree on each of these. Actually, with 15 minus 90, we need 75 on each of those. Whew. All right, let's figure out a 75 degree angle. To the science drawer. No. Okay. ¿Dónde está mi lápiz? Ahí está. Okay. Transfer that up here. All right. So I put a 75 degree right here. Like so. And I think, once again, the sander is probably the smartest way to do that. Do it on both of these, and then they'll together like that. Yes, sir. That came out pretty all right. So now, let's figure out how to glue these together, which shouldn't be too hard. I don't think it is. Establish a bracing block like this. Throw that in there like that. Put a stop in the bench. This is why I never worry about what my bench looks like. Show of opinions. Is your bench a showcase of your abilities, the pinnacle of a museum craftsman artisan piece? Or is it that you're like me? It's my bench. I'm going to beat the hell out of it and make what I'm making pretty instead of my bench. I can't get my head around, oh, I'm making a pretty bench and don't ever do any work on it. That just kicks me in the ass. Don't make no sense. All right. Use some of this Weld Bond. The good news is, for those of you who work in cooler, more humid climates, there is an abject advantage to woodworking in the desert of West Texas. And that's where your drying time on glue is probably about an hour. I'm cured in about 15 minutes. Because the atmosphere just sucks all the damn moisture out of it. Almost as fast as you can lay it down. So I can literally stand here, hold this, and talk to you guys for a little bit. It's funny because I literally have nothing except hand pressure and Weld Bond glue. No dowels, no pins, nothing. I'm going to stand here and hold this for maybe 2-3 minutes. And it's already stuck. The benefits of working in the desert. That's one of the good things we got. Now I'll leave that sucker for maybe 10-15 minutes. It'll be hard as rock, ready to go. That is why wood movement really doesn't matter. We don't get any moisture to get woodwork or wood movement out here. It's just not a thing. It's too damn hot. It's too damn dry. It's never even going to be an issue. So we don't have to even consider it out this way. I'm sure it's the same if you're in a place like Arizona or something like that. And I bet you we could sit here and watch this and literally in real time watch it turn clear because it's already cured. You see the string of glue right there? This side's already cured up. We're done. Hey, Elegant, good to see you. Well, while that's curing up, let's move that out the way. Set it over here. Nope. I'm going to make it happen even faster. I'm setting it out in the sun. Put that damn UV index to work. I wanted to buy a nice workbench, says Ricker. When I decided to build it out of palletwood, I started trying to make it nice looking, but instead I made it sturdy, since it'd eventually get cut and hammered on. You damn right. I mean, look at mine. I beat the living hell out of this thing. And my rule is I will lay something protective on the bench in between a nice work piece, but not to protect the bench from the piece, to protect the piece from the bench. Okay, our base looks good. Now to get that to work, I think we want to put a 15-degree bevel on this side. Yeah, and then that comes up, down like so. All right, guys, hold tight. Let's go for a ride. Show you guys what I'm doing at the table saw. Move the mic out of the way, Mike. You're screwing up the fourth wall. All right. All right. If you're interested in doing so, or you're curious about it, this is a Craftsman 113 table saw. It was made in like 86. It does not have a riving knife. It does not stop if I poke my dinghy in there. The number one safety feature it has is keep your damn fingers out of the table saw. We'll call that the That'll Learn You system. Oh, did you nip the end of your finger? That'll learn you. Bet you won't jab your damn finger in there again, will you? This side, I have the top of a Craftsman router table. It does have a skill plunge router in there, which I devoted to a router table, but I need to build a router lift. So I'll get to that eventually. I got this table saw for free because it didn't have a fence. So I built one. Bandsaw is a Craftsman 113. I think mine is too. I got that 12-inch with the tilt head so I can make bevel cuts with it. But then I always make the bevel cuts over here. So. I suppose it's nice to have if I need it. Y'all remember this? If you haven't seen this video, you should go back and see it. Being able to have a crosscut sled that has the ability to miter and bevel, in my opinion, is huge. And I don't know why more people didn't do it. Now, move things out of the way. Crank this over to 15 degrees. At the dude, okay. And then we'll run our base through there. Give us a 15-degree bevel. Stop block out of the way. For those of you with hearing sensitivity, please turn the volume down because I'm about to kick saw and make a cut. All right, that gave us a cool 15-degree angle, which we can butt our other pieces to. All right, so I've got our 15-degree there. We'll run that piece off the back, down like so. And now, of course, because I'm a ignorant stroke victim, I forgot where I put the other two pieces. I set them down somewhere, check. But you know what I did find? My push block. Oh, I set them in the sun because I'm an idiot. Look at that. Cured hard as a rock. We're ready to go. All right. So the idea is this will go here. I don't think I like that. I think I like it a little bit higher so I can get my hand in there. Yeah. So now I need a 15-degree here. And I bet I can do that at the sander. Bam. Bam. Nope, I want that up a little higher. So that's a little small. So I'm going to increase that bevel just a little bit. Yep. That's perfect. All right. Sand down the two sides flush. I think entirely too many people sleep on their belt sander. Look at how that thing came together. Perfectly flush. A rounded top. That thing's ready to go home right there. Now the next thing we need to do though is we need to trim off this blowout that I got. Thanks, Moak. Appreciate you, Rich. Stop by anytime, man. Okay. I'm going to lob that off right there. I think I'm going to do it with the bandsaw. It's the most efficient way I got to get rid of it. And then we'll get ready to put our lip for the cell phone, work out the trim details, and start thinking about finish. Now we got the bottom trimmed down nice and flush. That's ready to sit just like so. And the idea, again, is that the cell phone sits like that. Yes, sir. And I got a bunch of messages. I better check them. If Mrs. Macon sent me shit, I'm in trouble. No, I don't want to go to a damn fire pit. I started making YouTube videos because I don't like people. I'm kidding. I like y'all. You know what I mean. If you're a YouTuber, you know what I mean. Why is this thing? No, I don't want a chat overlay. Stupid StreamYard. All right. So now let's figure out, before I attach this like so, I want to attach the ledge that the cell phone sits on. And I want to route out the channels here. Which I think, let's start with this. We know that this is that long. And I probably want it that thick on the edges. It might work. Now, if that's going to fit Daddy's wallet, there's Daddy's wallet. That goes right there. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So then, what do you guys think of the project so far? You catching what I'm throwing at it? And we'll give it another shooky dooky over here for the change bin. Change and keys and shit. Which means that our cutoff makes sense to be right there. I know that's quite a bit farther out, but I think that's smart. So, let's make this next cut, trim that off. Watch your volume, guys. I'm going to hit the miter saw. All right, there's our base. All right. So next thing we need to do is we need to route out our little shingity-dingy. Shingity-dingy! Once again, from the Hazard Fraught, the illustrious Drill Master 1/4-inch trim router. As you can see, I gave it a different base plate. If you're interested in doing so and you have that same router, I can send you the STL file if you have a 3D printer so you can 3D print your own. Do that. This will be good to find out how well this 3D print holds up. As it's printed out of PETG, and given that it's almost 110 degrees back here in the shop again, we'll see if that stuff begins to melt. I don't think it will. I know that the printing point for PETG is like 240 C, which is a damn sight farther than 110 Fahrenheit. Yes, my kitty vitamins hold my router bits. Okay, so we're going to need this, which is a cove bit, to give me rounded corners. And then we're going to use a straight bit to take out the bulk of the waste in the middle. Truthfully, not really. And if they do, here's the funny thing, Elegant. You could sharpen them. So if I do get a little chip or something, then it ain't a big deal. But most of the time, they'll stay in the jar. I don't move them much. I can make a little, pokey thing to put them in. With as few times as I'm using it, I rarely encounter that, although I have had it once in the past. All right. So as I tighten up this straight bit, I need to think about depth. How far down do I want to make my little trays? I don't think they need to be very far at all. Maybe 1/8 of an inch. What's up, 2 Minute? How you doing, buddy? I don't think it needs to go very far at all. Maybe 1/8 of an inch. We'll start at 1/8, and then if I don't like that and it needs to go deeper, then we'll do that. The most precision thing I ever bought on Amazon, I think. Yep, we're at 1/8 of an inch. Crank that down. Again, for those of you with noise sensitivity, please do me a favor and kick your volume down or mute it as I go ahead and start tearing up these channels. I will give a thumbs up when I'm done. You'll get one of these. And get my hearing protection on. You see me? Safety people? Mm-hmm. Yeah. right, that took care of the bulk of the removal. Now we can get in here and clean up the rest of this. Then come back and give us our curve profile. Pine is back from the depot. What'd they tell you, Pine? Time for the planter boxes, huh? Now I'm sure it's clear from what you guys see, but what I did was I took the bulk of the waste out with the router. Now I'm coming back, cleaning the edges up square with my chisel. You can tell summer has arrived. All of the car stereos have decided to announce it like a rooster's crow. A little bit thick right here. This calls for booger mallet. Salud! Oh, that's funny. I hit it on the uneven surface of the bench and I cracked it again. Bueno, pendejo. No puede. The funny thing is, it didn't even crack on the joint, it cracked in the wood. Thankfully, the brake was clean. It will go right back together again. So I get to wait a little bit longer while this thing cures in the sun. Maybe 10 or 15. What are you guys going to be building today? Anything? Pine, take care, buddy. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate you stopping in. Let's do some hand tool stuff. I think I've already broke your ears enough with that stupid router. Just building a little bandsaw table. I remember you telling me about that last night. You feeling good about it? I think whoever made this gent saw, they were compensating a little bit. Get 15 by 15. Build it 30 inches high. So the bandsaw, yep, so 42 inches. That's pretty smart. Maybe the handsaw wasn't the best idea. I'm gonna shoot you guys around like crazy. You know what? I got a scroll saw. I'll take care of this right now. Let's do that. Fastest coping saw on the planet. All right. Now I think the next thing is to determine how thick the foam is. Do that about like that. I'll cut that on the scroll saw too. Because then as we warm up to that tool and feeling comfortable with it, we cut the notch for the charger. Oh, you got that little 9 inches, right? That'd be all right though. All right, so if I set that ledge like so, and the phone sits like so. So the charger is like so. So we'll cut us a notch out. Like so. We'll do that back over at the scroll saw too. Yes, sir. Just like the. That'll go there. Yep, yep. So now I need to figure out how to clamp that. There's one. Over here. We'll leave that like that. Let's check on our split base and see if it dries yet. Clamps are hot. Where's that? God, I love the desert. All right. I need to put this on a more stable base so that I don't snap it again. Smack it with a chisel. know. The more I look at this, the more I kind of like them crisp corners. I don't know if I want the round over the code one. Well, Ron, how you doing, buddy? Hey, I've been live streaming for 3 hours. Y'all are some champs, man, hanging around this long. Thank you, John. I really appreciate it. That ain't sharp. I'll come back sharp chisels. Yeah, I need something. There you go. Good girl. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me this afternoon while I finish up what I think might be a cool idea for a Father's Day present. And I'm sure everybody's done their own version to a degree. Like the military. There are many gentlemen's caddies. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Without me, my caddy is nothing. Without my caddy, I am nothing. I'm gonna reclamp that again because it just feels like it's gonna try to get squirrely again. And with that clamp there, I can feel a little more comfortable tearing after the rest of this. I presume I may have some unorthodox ways of doing things. But I think that's a symptom of somebody who's been self-taught. You find a method that shows promise, and you latch onto it and you perfect it. Like me going around each one of these edges and chiseling them to their final line. Rather than doing what I've seen other people do, things like a flush trim bit. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, it's getting hot as hell out here. Whew. Matter of fact, y'all excuse me for just a second. I'm gonna go get my big glass of ice water. Jam that down real quick and be safe. All right. Whew. Yeah, I needed that. My body couldn't suck that down fast enough. What are you looking at today? 94. Feels like 105. Man, listen, I tell you, the UV index is definitely a thing. It's like you're in an air fryer. Thankfully, the kids in the neighborhood, they got their little floaty pools, sprinklers. Fun story. I'd love to know what you guys would do in this situation. The community that I live in has a full-size Olympic swimming pool. And they kicked off summer on Friday with a pool party. Now keep in mind, I've been in this community for years, living here. And I was quite flabbergasted by the fact that they announced that the pool was opening, because I had never seen that pool open the entire time I lived here. And there were plenty of individuals that were quite vocal about the fact that our residency agreement included said pool, but it never seemed to be open. After voicing those complaints, again, our aforementioned pool party commenced. A good time was had by all. At 10:37 that evening following the pool party, all of the residents received a text. It said, due to certain residents not following the pool rules and in the interest of safety, the pool is closed and will not open again. I do believe I'm quite hot about it. I think so, John. I believe so. All right. So, I have been at this for 3.5 hours on the live stream. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I do believe we're at the point that we like to call final assembly. Immediately followed by finishing. And I like that. So, let's go to work. I thought, well, if I'm being candid, John, I thought it was a crock of shit. And if I'm being honest, I think that the text message was part of the plan all along. Here's what I mean. If anybody has ever upkept a pool, worked for a pool company, or had a pool in their yard and fortunate enough to say so, pools are not cheap to upkeep. They are most definitely a big fat pain in the como te amas. And more importantly, if the pool is being managed for a community of rental tenants or lease tenants, then to a degree, they are absolutely correct. The tenants do not give a rat's ass about the pool. They'll treat it however the hell they feel like. But what I truly believe is this. Enough people raised 9 kinds of hell about the pool that they decided they needed to shut everybody up. So they opened the pool. And then they came back and blamed everyone, saying that some ne'er-do-wells screwed up the whole deal, so we got to shut the damn pool again. So that they can technically say they had the pool open. But it wasn't their fault that it's no longer open, it's ours. That is my humble opinion. But it doesn't make me any less hot about it. My kids were pretty damn fired up to go swimming. Yeah, John, I got to agree. Well, and I think that was the idea of the pool party. Well, so that they could technically say, hey, we offered them a pool, but then they made it too dangerous to keep it open. Don't blame us, blame your neighbors. I do believe that's going to work. But I also believe that I want to put a fastener in the bottom to wrap it up. You guys have already hung with me for 3.5 hours. I ain't going to put you through no more damn torture. Okay. I think I'm talented enough. I might be able to get a screw or two right in there. Guess we're about to find out, ain't we? Woo! That'll pucker you up. over to the screw bin. Find a couple of decent ones. Yeah, thankfully, like I said, some of the parents are smart enough to go get their kids little wading pools. No, I don't like that screw. It's too big. That's gonna split it. Find me something lighter. My kids, however, are most undoubtedly not outside. My middle son is at work loading people's groceries. And my youngest is a gamer that you asked him to go outside, he'd look at you like you just asked him what the color 7 smells like. Go a little further with that. They are having a good time, ain't they? There we go. Billfold, change, telephone. I ain't mad about it. What do you think? Let's throw some finish on this guy. Give a little bit of that satisfaction. I can't get no back on. But I drop. Wes! What's up, friend? Just in time, I finished up the Father's Day present. Check it out. Look at that boy. Put your cell phone on there, Daddy. Put your billfold right there. Put your change in your keys right there. Let's beat this up. Let's get some finish on it. You're here just in time for the money shot. Let's get some BLO on this thing. Thank you, Ricker. What do you think? A little different than what you were thinking, or about the same thing? Ooh. Ooh. Mm. Ooh, look at that green chop. Yes, just some regular old BLO. Ooh, this boy finna pop off. Mm. Man, if I'm not careful, I'm gonna start looking like I know what I'm doing. All them kids is having a good time. That makes my heart happy. Hey. Don't you be telling nobody I'm a professional. If you start doing that, they're going to start expecting it. Hey, Mike. Ooh, that shot of money. Me too, Rick. There ain't a whole lot of things that just make your heart happy. Make you forget the world is such a shitty place, you know? And it's especially something, not to brag, but it's especially something for a veteran. When you've seen how absolutely terrible this world can be, and you hear that just for this moment, to them, the world is good. And they are safe, and everything is fine. It makes you almost able to convince yourself that somewhere along the way, at least once, you did something all right. If that was the result. Get the other side. Don't worry, my mom will help you, but you okay. Well, thank you for staying with me, guys. What do you think? This is some walnut that I had left over from some partition dividers they took out of a bank. So let's walk you through the features. Step 1, Daddy puts it on his end table. Step 2, you got a notch for your charger. Daddy puts his cell phone right there. Step 3, Daddy puts his billfold right there. Step 4, Daddy takes his change and puts it right there. Well, I guess I ought to talk about this change before I shut the live off. This change isn't my change. This change is the change of one Army Air Corps Captain Charles L. Gidding, who served in World War II, through Korea, all the way just prior to Vietnam. And as I hear the story tell it, no relation to him whatsoever. Captain Gidding walked into his house immediately after being discharged, took everything from his pockets in his uniform and hid it in a secret compartment in a secretary desk that his wife had in the hallway. And there it stayed. And she passed away, and he passed away, and everyone forgot about it. And then they sold me the secretary. And as I went through it, I found the secret compartments. I found Captain Gidding's things. This was literally the change that he had in his pocket when he got home from the Army. That quarter's from 1952. 1951. 1943. 1948. I can go on and on. The newest coin in here is 1954. That dime is from 1930. 1922. So on and so forth. The Gidding family got Captain Gidding's things back from me. And his daughter refused to take this. as she said, she felt her dad would like to pay me for what I did. So Captain Gideon gave me every dime that was in his pocket. And now, Captain Gideon's change can stay right on the bedside table, right where it belongs. This has been an incredibly long live, going on 4 hours. You guys have been spectacular, hanging out with me this whole time. I hope that this inspires you to make something. I think it's a very cool Father's Day present. As my father has been long gone for some time, this Father's Day present will be for me. And it will be on my bedside table. Anybody got any questions about what I did? I know that was a hell of a lot of stuff I did. But if you want to try to build one of these yourself, please tell me so I can help you out. Thank you, Mike. It was a lot of fun doing it. I hope that this once again shows you that just because you start with chunks of whatever, this is literally the stuff it was made out of. This trim board. You can make anything out of anything. I loved doing this. I loved the challenge. If you were with me the whole time, you knew there was a hell of a lot of things I had to figure out. Getting this 30-degree worked out so that I could keep this together in a way that it wasn't going to blow apart. How to clamp it, how to bevel it. That was definitely fun. What I hadn't done is I hadn't showed you what I was going to do about the Romex. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about, John. What I might do is see if I can't run just a little channel right there. Run a copper accent in there. I don't know. I have to sleep on that. I hope you guys are making something wonderful in your shops today. Or at the very least, you're cleaning up from making a mess during the week. I am disgusting and covered with grime. And it is, according to the thermometer, 104 in the shop. Ugh. I think I'm going to call it a day, boys. I'm going to go find a shower. I'm going to run through it. Then I'm going to jump back in it. Because it is hot. Hopefully it's not miserable where you are. I hope you sincerely enjoyed all of this. Thanks again. Y'all have a good one. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Take care. Elegant, thank you. Wes, Rickard, Mike Staniford, everybody that hung in there with me. Man, thank you for sticking with me, man. This was a long live. Thank you for it. Take care, guys.